Good morning and welcome to the GarLan Red Cup Variety Podcast, where there's always something good in the Red Cup. I am Logan Lanier. That is Mr. Paul Garwood.
Good morning. Good morning.
Mr. Garwood. It is a great day, and as you can see, I am Logie Claus.
I see that.
Or you know what? I'm very sentimental because I love Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and the Island of Misfit Toys.
You know what? Rudolph, Frosty. Those are two of my, and the Grinch just stole Christmas.
The Grinch just stole Christmas, man.
When they come on, I still look at them to this day. Takes me back to my childhood.
Yeah. And also, Frosty the Snowman.
Yes. Oh yeah, Frosty, definitely. Burrow eyes.
But you know what gets me?
What's that?
And again, I used to be sad because Frosty would melt. You know. And then Island of Misfit Toys. They didn't want the toys, man.
I know.
They had to go get the toys.
Right.
You know.
I know. And then hold it. My thing was the way all the reindeers treated Rudolph.
Oh man!
Oh wow! You know, when they tried to cover up that red nose, you know, and and then when it popped off, you know, he was talking in that nasal tone, and it popped off, and all of the reindeers did like this.
Man!
You know? Oh man!
Treat my boy bad, man. Good.
Yeah, they
Lord.
treated me bad.
You know, but anyway, it's a great show. It's going to be a great show, and you know, we have guests coming on later, and in the that of Mr. Pastor, Carlisle Fielding Stew is going to join us later.
Dynamic.
Yeah, but first,
yes, sir.
In the Red Cup,
what's good in the Red Cup?
What's good in the Red Cup?
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Garwood. In the Red Cup, we have mistletoe.
Okay.
Now, you know, mistletoe, let me say this, and for my lady viewers out there and former girlfriends, they love the mistletoe. You know, you put it above the doorway or whatever, they'll walk up to you, sashay up to you.
Right.
Want to kiss you and all that. Loved it. But, okay, out of our Red Cup commentary and our facts of Did you know, Mr. Garwood, that mistletoe has medicinal purposes?
Okay, let me know.
Nutrients, in that it is supposed to value in treating arthritis, high blood, epilepsy, and infertility. Now, you know, I don't know. I guess they said the berries, a little berry part of it is the nutrient part.
Okay.
The leaves are the ones that are not the greatest. But so it's not about the little kissy.
Okay.
You know, above the mistletoe, this bad boy here got a purpose. Good.
A good.
Got some bad ones too.
You know what? You know, when you told me about we was going to talk about the mistletoe today, I did a little research myself. Okay. And what I found out the negative aspects of what can happen with that mistletoe. You know, it's not humans, but it can. But it causes drowsiness, blurred vision, vomiting. It can even cause seizures. It's poisonous to animals.
Oh no!
So make sure that when you get rid of that mistletoe, you know, it don't be in no leaves or no snow, no grass where your cat or dog can go get it and eat it, because it can cause some serious damage.
So mistletoe,
yeah,
as cute as it is, and as famous as it is around this time of the year, it has, again, its positive effects and has negative effects.
Negative effects, without a doubt. You know what? When I was researching it and looking at it, what it reminded me of is those commercials that come on about medicine, and then you have all the side effects. after they tell you all the good that the medicine can do, then they have all the side effects if you take it. All right, that's exactly what it reminded me of.
Well, I tell you what, I think we just going to savor it as it is. We're going to use it the way it was presented to us many years ago. I didn't catch the year or whatever that they implemented all this for Christmas, but I think it's been out for quite a while.
Yes.
And I think deviating from the negative effects, they went toward the more positive ones, which is affection.
Yes. Which is affection.
Yes.
But it's a shame that during this COVID era, it ain't gonna be too much kissing under the mistletoe.
Well. I mean, your spouse,
unless it's a person.
Miss Garwood doesn't have mistletoe in that house. Miss Garwood does not.
It's not a mistletoe here.
Well, that's your office. I'm talking about. She probably got. You need to go check out
somewhere with the tree and everything. Yes.
Yeah, you go in your living room, Mr. Garwood.
Yeah.
You may have some mistletoe in there.
Somewhere.
For you. I hope you listen to this Miss Garwood, if you're listening to this broadcast, make sure take your husband under that mistletoe and give him a smooch.
All right.
Mistletoe, yes, indeed. But now as we go, our show today, and again, it's a very special one, and we're going to talk about the true spirit of Christmas in the midst of a pandemic.
Yes.
And hopefully we can lend some encouragement, some hope to our viewers and listeners.
Yes.
And again, it's a lot going on, and COVID is not going away. Yes. Although I heard this morning in Michigan, the governor, she's opening up some things, and she's saying the curve is kind of going down. It's not going down enough. She opened up everything, but it is going down.
Right. My concern is if you open it up, will it start to rise again? I'm really, praying to God, especially during this season of the birth of Christ and Christmas, that, once things start to open up and with the vaccine, that we can see the numbers consistently start to go down.
Yes. Yes.
To me, that'd be a good sign, for everybody involved.
Yes.
That's what I'm praying for.
Yes. Also I'm in Ohio.
Yes.
And things aren't to the degree they are in Michigan.
Yes.
In terms of our governor, we do have a curfew.
Yes.
Our curfew is from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m.
Yes.
Our schools are virtual.
Yes.
But our sports are still continuing on the high school level.
Yes.
Okay. I understand Michigan's not is going to continue next month.
Tentatively, they open the high schools back up, but they're gonna go and revisit. And they open up the fall sports, which is mainly outside. Okay. They did open up volleyball, but football. But they haven't made a decision yet on the winter sports, which is basketball, and they also haven't made a decision on middle schools.
Okay.
But, December 22nd, there's a meeting that they're gonna have, and hopefully they're trying to come with some type of compromise to where they can have the winter sports. They open up the fall sports is because Michigan has this. It's called the rapid testing program.
Right.
And to where I think they're going to be testing the players. On game day. Okay. This is what is coming across to me right now. The winter sports is not in the rapid testing program, but hopefully it will be, because I think as with anything, and because of the asymptomatic nature of COVID, you have to have that consistent testing. You can't just be a temperature. You have to actually have a test just like they do with the NBA, to
Right.
make sure that they're not positive.
Right. And that's good. High school, because the kids it's not as with the kids, they're coming from all over the place. It's not
Right.
as condensed as maybe you can do with a college or university.
Right.
The high schoolers the kids are coming from, their different environments.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, we hope and pray that the season starts and they get something in.
Yes.
If not, then, hey, just adhere to the protocols and it's going to get better.
Yes.
And, I don't want to put it out there, but if she shuts it down, then, hey, there's always next year. I know that's not saying a lot for the seniors. So let's just say this. Let's just hope and pray that they get a basketball season in. From a former high school basketball coach who loves it, I just hope and pray that they salvage something. Numbers can continue to go down, and we get something out of this situation.
And if we do, any and everybody that's watching my podcast, and you have a child or know a child that's playing basketball, especially if you're in 11th, 12th grade, film everything. Okay, don't let a game go by without filming that game, because should it shut down again, when it comes to college coaches and college scouts, that's all they're gonna have to go on is that film. Okay, so when it start back, and I'm going to be positive that it's going to start back. When it starts back, film every game that they play.
Yes. And as you say that, speaking with one of my former players yesterday on our Zoom, Nan Moore, who's the assistant coach at Chicago State, she was saying that they do their rapid testing there. But a lot of college coaches this year anyway are going into the transfer thing, the transfer this year only. Okay, because they can't get out and scout the high school players.
Right.
Okay.
And then they had the rule. It was a rule that just was implemented with the NCAA that you can transfer and play immediately. Yes. Normally, if you transfer, you would have to sit out on calendar year, but they changed the rule.
Yes.
So there's going to be a lot of transferring going on, because when you transfer, you are immediately eligible to play. So when it comes to recruiting, all right, that's going to be the college coaches are going to recruit people that's not playing a lot or people that's disgruntled where they're at, okay, and have the grades to transfer, and that's going to be the first option. Okay?
Yes, and also as you say that, and let me just say this is and correct me if I'm wrong, Paul, is this year only. That's actually going to down the road is going to change. So if you think about transferring, probably the time to do it is now. Because you're not restricted by the NCAA rules where you have to set out a year. And that's at all levels. That's football, basketball.
All levels.
Yeah, any sport.
Any sport.
Yes. This broadcast is brought to you by 22 Design Studio. 22 Design Studio is a video graphics production, wedding photography, and more. Contact Mr. David Walker, who is our producer. Shout out to Mr. Walker this morning. His info is on our podcast website, which is www.theredcuppodcast.com. That is our website, www.theredcuppodcast.com. That is our website. Go on that. You'll see all our advertisements. We are also on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at GarLan Podcast. And find our pages there. Also, we have MWR Financial, which is the home of the instant pay raise. your own personal team of financial experts. They use proven strategies to secure you and your family's financial future. Contact Financial Director Herb Buckley today at area code 734-388-4357 and make MWR your choice for financial freedom. And their flyer and information is on the advertising page of the podcast website. Again, that is the redcuppodcast.com.
Yes. And we also have, this is very important. I think that anybody and everybody out here will love this, is Tiffany with the tea.
Yes.
This is the detox tea that, one, it boosts your immune system. It cleanses your vital organs, which is liver, kidneys, and burns fat. All right. And it's a great supplement for your body, especially during this pandemic. So I personally advise you to get the tea today. Tiffany with the tea, and you will find her contact information on our website. And I do suggest to do whatever you can. Utilize these herbal ways to boost your immune system. Okay, and I always follow and cut down stress, because stress is a suppressant to your immune system. Do whatever you can to get away from toxic behavior, toxic situations that causes stress and lowers your immune system.
Yes, yes. And I personally take Tiffany with the tea. And it's helped me tremendously. And I've said this, and I'm going to post a body picture here very, very soon. When COVID started, I was 235 pounds, and I made the conscious effort to get into that gym and to lose some weight. And I am proud to say, as I speak, as of this morning, I weighed myself without any clothes, mind you. I was 216 pounds.
All right.
235 to 216. I'm not saying Tiffany with the tea, that helped. That tea really helps boost my immune system. Of course, I did other things to lose weight, but Tiffany with the tea and Tiffany, she's probably looking at this broadcast and laughing. But yeah, look at it. Go to our website and get the information and purchase some, as well as call my man Herb Buckley for all your financial needs. MWR Financial.
I have to say this too. Everybody know I'm Big Paul. You know, I'm 6'7", and I was on the same page as Logan. You know, I was a 4X. Now I went to put on some clothes, 3X, and now I'm almost down to a 2X and going down. This is the time. Use this pandemic to do something positive, and what Brother Logan and myself has been doing. We've using this time to get back in shape. We both with athletes, get back in shape, and we stress that. We stress find something positive to do during this pandemic, especially when you basically locked into the house and can't go a lot of different places. Right? Find something positive, and then the results are going to be magnificent. They're going to be magnificent.
Yes, they are. Yeah, it's not an overnight thing. Keep at it.
The focus is there. The distractions are gone, and the focus is there to do whatever you want to do.
Yes, it is. And also, let me say this before our guests come on. And again, and we're going to have our closing remarks. But while this is on my mind, surround yourself with some positive things around your house. Talk to my cousin and some friends out in California. Some of my former players are out west, and they have a stay-home order, whereas they can't leave, and that can be very, very depressing if you can't leave. So, I'm kind of piggybacking off Paul here. Surround yourself with something positive in your house, some decorations, some, don't drown all your sorrows. I know it's a good time to, have a little taste and stuff like that. Got your spirits, but have some Holy Spirit.
Yes.
One,
Yes.
two, okay, have something surrounding yourself that will give you that uplift your spirits. Okay, and we're going to have a show in January that's going to really, really be good. It's going to help you with the renewing of your mind as the year goes forward in 21.
Right.
But I'm not going to make that announcement just yet because that is our upcoming show. I will say this. I'm proud to announce, and I'm saying this now, that we are going to go on iHeartRadio and Spotify. We have enough shows to kind of go in that direction now. And so our first show in January, which is January 2nd, we will be on our iHeartRadio and Spotify. So we just keep moving on up, just like the Jeffersons.
Yes.
Okay, we're not. We're what is that? How's that song go?
Moving on up to the east side.
Yeah,
to the west side. Moving on up to the west side.
Well, they were on the east side. Okay.
Right.
Okay, we're gonna move up. We're gonna move up whatever side, east side, west side, north side, south side.
And let me piggyback on what Brother Logan said and take a break from the internet.
Sure.
Take a break from the news. We know that on the news, the only thing we're hearing is negative things. And then because of COVID and so many people are leaving this earth, they're being called home. And when you and then when you go on your feed, you see death after death after death after death. And that can wear on you. All right. That can be very, very depressing, and so I talk to a lot of people about this and I make a lot of positive posts but I tell them that, sometimes you have to just take a break from the internet, take a break from Facebook, right?
Yes.
Go find a good book to read. What I do is I start looking at every episode of Sanford and Son or every episode of Good Times. I got to go find me something funny to look at. All right. I start binge watching, my comedy shows. All right. I look at Martin, I look at the Carmichaels, my wife and I, whatever's funny out there, I'm going to look at. I'm going to go look at life maybe 2 or 3 times, but find you something that's going to make you laugh. All right. And get away from having to, we know what's going on out here, but you don't have to just see that bad news. You don't have to take that bad news in every day, all day. Right.
Well, our guest is here, and it's just my distinct pleasure to introduce him at this time. And
yes, sir.
He is the former pastor of the Hope United Methodist Church in Southfield, but he is the current pastor of the Empowerment Church in Detroit, Michigan. Hails from that great institution of Northwestern High School. I got to throw that in there. Although I did not go there, I went to Central. But I'm going to give credit where credit is due today.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's our pleasure my distinct pleasure to introduce to some and present to others the esteemed pastor of the Empowerment Church, Pastor Carlisle Fielding Stewart. Welcome, Pastor.
God bless you.
How you doing? Good morning, Pastor.
Good morning, brothers. How you all doing today?
Doing pretty good. Pretty good. Good to see you. Welcome to the show.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Welcome to the show. Always glad to see you. I gotta say this real quick before we start. Now, me and Pastor Stewart went to the same barbershop. Okay. He's still going, and I'm no longer going because
we're good though. We're good. We're good.
I'm on barber this year.
In the winter. Yeah. Paul too.
But sometimes I love the conversation at the barbershop. So I go get my beard on my mustache and I get that trimmed up, or sometimes I'll let it grow on the sides and tell them, just go in there and tell them handle it. You know what I'm talking about, man? I love being in that chair and then going and sit there talking for about an hour about anything and everything. You know how the barbershop is.
Barbershops and beauty shops are therapy centers.
Yes,
It's a
they
therapy
are.
center. Yes, sir.
You know?
Yes, sir.
You can't get to the psychiatrist, but you can talk to the beautician and the barber, you know.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Versa, you know, absolutely.
That's the country club, as we call it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's it.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We're gonna dive right into this, Pastor. And again, our title for this segment, our show, is "The True Spirit of Christmas in the Midst of a Pandemic." And again, we're gonna dive right in and pass this one. We got times of challenging. We in challenging times, and as these of which we all have never experienced. And how true can the spirit of Christmas be at this time? How do we cope?
Well, I think that's an excellent question. I think one of the primary issues we should focus on is what is the reason, what is the spiritual purpose of the season? You know, why did the Father send the Son to the world in the first place, and what was happening in the world that prompted the Father to say, we need to do something about this situation. I need to send them someone that they can relate to, that they can walk with and talk with in real history, somebody who would be an instrument of love and empowerment for the people. And I think the primary purpose of the Father's giving the Son was so that we could also give to others, and that love would be the primary focus. That was the primary reason why the Father sent the Son. And I think the more we share love in the context of human experience. Now, when I talk about love, there are different types. There's agape love, which is divine love, that's just interested love, which comes from God. God loves us unconditionally. No matter what we do, whatever we go through. We fall short, we sin, that love is still there. There's philia, the Greek word philia, which means friendship love. There is storge, which is love that we have for parents or grandparents. And then there's eros, which is sexual love. Mm-hmm. And so the 4 different types of love. And God sent his Son in the form of agape love, who would give himself and do everything that he could to show people love and to make them feel that they were part of a community that wanted them, that accepted them, that valued them where they belong. Because the world that Jesus came into was a world of hostility.
Yes.
And so the Lord is saying, how can I figure out ways to create hospitality where folks can belong, where they can be connected to community and be involved with others and others who will affirm them. The church is supposed to be a place like that, where people are coming into a situation, a representation of the earthly ministry of Jesus, and finding hospitality.
Yes.
Seeking refuge from the hostilities of the world and coming to the church to find places of belonging. And I actually believe that as we look over our lives and we have different experiences along the way, it's those experiences of separation and alienation and dismemberment that we experience along the way that kind of separate us and dislocate us and make us feel that we are not worthy, or we're not acceptable, or we're not. And I think that the Father sent the Son in the real time, in the real history. They have a real living, real life ministry that touched people, that healed people, that loved people, that gave them a sense of somebodiness, in the words of my good friend Garth Baker Fletcher. Somebodiness, a belonging, which is what people seek, to be connected to folks that care about them, that love them unconditionally. Because so much of what we do in society is based, if you love me, I love you. If you give to me, I give to you. But there comes a point in time where we should be agents of love in the sense of doing good, sharing good, speaking good, living good as much as we can without any ulterior motives or attachments to that.
Yes.
There's so much in society is based on, if you do this for me, I'll do that for you. And sometimes you just need to have somebody affirm you, what I call the 3 levels of people who comfort you, people who clarify you, and people who confront you. You know, and sometimes when you need to be comforted, folks are confronting you. You need carefrontation. We just need to be in places where we are accepted, that we don't have all of these other stigmas and attachments that go with behavior. Just acceptance and understanding and reciprocation. So I think if the more that we can get to that kind of expression, and I know it sounds idealistic, but if we could get to the point where we can affirm the other and encourage others and welcome others and create hospitality for others and listen to others in ways that they can be heard and lift their spirits and let them know that they are people of worth like Jesus did in this ministry. Simple kind of thing. We would all be much better. Yes. We would all be much further along, because so much of what we're dealing with are these oppositional forces.
Okay.
That seek to subtract value and to demean and to question it. Yeah, we need confrontation and things where we need to get better. We all need that. I thank God for my father and that generation and all those folks back then that had these ways of getting you straight, and they didn't have to say nothing. All they had to do was look at you.
Right.
I appreciate that discipline. I didn't then. My parents were the two meanest people in the whole world.
Yes.
But when I look back on that, I say, wow, that was creating a system of insulation and safety, but also saying that, you know, you are a person of worth and value, and let me handle this problem before you get out in society, and then society's got to deal with it. So if we could just get to the point of unconditional love, and I know that's hard to do, where we can speak love and encouragement and words of without agendas, because when we do that, there's a certain suspicion. Well, why is this person doing this for me? And I remember we in the church took one of the clergy persons down to the store of one of my most faithful members down at Hot Sam's, where Tony Stovall has a store, to kind of get him some new threads. And, you know, it wasn't a judgment thing. It was a thing where we were just trying to help the brother out to get it. But he was like, okay, why are y'all doing this? Why are you helping me in this way? Because he had come from a family situation where he had never experienced that kind of love, or that kind of help, or that kind of care. So even when we engage in acts of kindness and goodness without attachments to it, people think, well, what's the agenda? What do you want from me? Or, you know, that kind of thing. And so I think we have to all work better at that amid those debilitating forces that try to subtract and divide and conquer and demean and devalue us. Yeah. It's very, very important. And that's where we need to start, with those little acts of kindness and generosity that help things to get better and to help things along. And I think if we did more of that, we would be a much better world. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I know. Hey, Pastor.
Yes, sir.
Right quick. A gentleman said something to me one time that was profound. He said, "You know that society is breaking down when acts of kindness is viewed with suspicion."
Yes. Yeah. 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 Well, yeah, it is.
Yeah. And that's how it is today. You can hardly be nice to nobody.
Right. That's true.
They don't receive it. You know, it's questioned, or, what are you up to? Or what's she up to?
Yeah. What's the agenda? What's the agenda? Why are you doing this for me? Why are you saying this to me? What's the purpose here?
Yeah.
And then there's the forgiveness thing too. It's like, forgiveness. One writer said, when you can forgive somebody that's undeserving of that forgiveness, that's an act that overturns society, because the value system is one of non-forgiveness, and all of the other things. No, you got to do this, and you got to do that. And I understand retributive justice, but then there's restorative justice.
Yes.
Other forms of justice where forgiveness is the great overturner of society in a society that's unforgiving.
Yes.
Because it shows grace, but even then it's suspicious.
Yes.
That suspicion of, why are you doing this? Or why you, why? And I understand it. That's social conditioning. I understand.
That's exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. So love. That's how we cope.
Yeah.
Love. Anyhow we can do it, any way we can do it.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Acts of goodness and kindness make a difference in the world.
Love.
And piggybacking, don't be judgmental.
Right.
That's one of the things that affected the church. You know, you're supposed to be able to come within the church, come to the church and not be judged. Right. Come as you are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And then that's where the comfortability builds and grows. But if they come within the church and they're judged.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. I think that there's an element of judgment where we evaluate things just at first glance. We're always evaluating. That's a form of judgment.
Yes.
But then when we start labeling folk,
yes,
and putting them in categories,
yes,
and drawing a line through their names and writing them off as though they are not persons of worth or value. And that's why I said empowerment, you can dress or come as you are.
Yes.
If you want to be knotted up with a 3-piece suit, that's fine. If you want to come in jeans and gym shoes, that's fine. Come as you are, particularly if you got an intergenerational demographic where folks are dressing every which way. Just, dress as best as you can, but there's no real standard or formula. Well, when I was coming along, it was like, you had to wear your shoes and your suit and, in Easter time, and your play clothes and your church clothes,
right?
Your school clothes and all those kinds of things. But you're right, Paul. I mean, a lot of that is, well, who is she and who is he? And I always wondered if Jesus showed up in person in today's world in some places, would he be accepted, or would there be? Well, who is this fella? Who, that kind of thing. We need to be careful about that.
Who do he think he is?
Right.
Right. Well, Pastor, let me ask you. So, within your own congregation, are you experiencing any challenges individually and collectively? If you are, how are you handling that?
Yeah, it's always something that's going on. And, basically, and I tell some of the clergy that I'm advising and mentoring, in terms of problems, the problems are always going on. We're problem solvers by nature. And I think some people have an idea of the church as being problem free. It's a problem free zone, and so they come in and they're shocked when they experience different types of problems. I said, well, that's what we're built for. Man and woman are problem solvers by nature.
Yes.
But a lot of times, because we're so overwhelmed with problems and just overwhelmed with them, one more problem, a pinprick can feel like a gunshot wound. Mm-hmm. One more problem overturns, so the issue is, how do we first acknowledge that real problems exist, that part of the church is problem solving to help as many people as we can. And how one writer said, problems are simply opportunities in work clothes. Mm-hmm. How do we develop a different type of perspective and set a tone for problem solving? We don't get all out of whack because, there are problems that occur. And they start out on the individual level. And then they spread into the collective consciousness. And the next thing you know, you got a whole movement of problems, of folks having problems that, that create more of a problem.
Yes, sir.
So how can I be a problem solver without being a problem? I look back in the scriptures with King Saul, who is one moment issuing an edict throughout Israel that they're going to rid the land of all the witches. And then several passages later, he's consulting the witch of Endor. How you going to be part of the problem? You're going to be the part of the problem, part of the solution. Yeah. And how do we do that in a way that will help everybody get better? I think it goes back to interpretation, how we interpret things, and and try to help people understand that we can solve these problems. We can mobilize the resources that we need to help others solve the problems. And I think sometimes it's the tone. But if you're already sacked with problems every day and you're struggling with things and things don't make sense, it seems like every time you try to do good, you take one step forward and then end up taking 3 steps backwards because you feel overwhelmed. I understand that situation too. And it creates a situation sometimes of hopelessness where folk don't want to activate. But if you know somebody's there to help you with the problem resolution, which may not be today, it may be at a later time, at least I can understand that there are other resources available in the community that will help me get to my destination in terms of this issue. And don't beat up on myself, or don't turn inward so much that I no longer believe because everybody's saying, almost like what happened with Job. Now his friends were okay the first 2 weeks when they didn't say nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But the moment they got to talking, he's like, sometimes it's better to exemplify silence
Yes.
in situations. If you don't have a problem, that's going to really help. But Job said, like, what's up? Here y'all go. You're putting it all on me. But that compounded the situation for him, but he didn't lose faith. He still pressed on. So those are little things I think that we can all learn along the way that are not always easy to learn. But sometimes you got to unlearn things before you can learn them. It's like, how do I get to the point where I can be a positive force for good, even though I've had and experienced a lot of negativity and things in my life that have really sort of set me back? Well, how do I turn that experience of hurt and pain into life lessons for somebody else that'll help them get better? Because you don't lose if you don't lose the lesson. And Coach, that what you're doing and all of the things in terms of competitiveness and team building and also you, Paul, in terms of the work you do with the the youth and so forth. It's a continuing dialogue conversation with folk about how we work these things out and how we get better and move on, So
yes.
Yeah. So that's, the individual collective thing is always going on, and you just try to develop different strategies. Because in the church, you got different personalities.
Right.
Yes.
You got people that know more than you know. People that's lived longer than you live.
You got basketball players that's in 5th and 6th grade know more than you know.
Yeah.
Coach. I can testify to that.
Right.
They 5th and 6th graders know more than me. Right.
Yeah. And so how do you develop patience?
Right.
I think John Wooden said it's amazing what you can learn after you know everything. Just like
right.
Kind of like a wall. I kept running into that. No, go ahead, Stuart. You know it. Go on. And my sport was baseball, where I played at Cronk Recreational Center with a team called the Mohawks. Mm-hmm. Which was a pretty strong team at that time. And there was the big Mohawks with Big John Mayberry and those guys played. And it was always, the lessons of the coach. Conrad, that's what he called me. He could never get my name right. Conrad, we go a little bit to the right. Conrad, we'd be out there sweating in them hot uniforms, the wool uniforms.
Oh, yeah.
Now, but the point is, what a blessing that was in terms of learning and teamwork. Together, everyone achieves more. So thankful for those days. But hard-hitted lessons, man.
Yes, sir.
Thankful though.
And I tell them all the time. I tell them that, hey, you're not gonna thank me until you become an adult. So I know that going in. Okay, and I let them know you're too young to understand what I'm doing.
Yes.
Okay.
Maturity. Right.
But once you mature, when you become an adult, then you will understand what I'm doing.
Yes.
Yep. Let me ask you this one, Pastor. Now, this is a big one here.
Yes, sir.
We have spirituality and we have commercialism. How Christmas has shifted. How did we get to this point of commercialism? What happened? What brought us here? Because it used to be about the birth of Christ. Now it's about Santa and commercialism. How much, what we can buy, what we can do, how much we can buy, how many gifts, people going into debt to buy gifts, people not paying their bills to buy gifts. Even in this pandemic, people, we don't know what's going to happen in January, February, March, April, May, but Christmas is Christmas. All right.
True.
How did this happen?
I think these are good questions. I think commercialization, the process of commercialization in a capitalist society, and all of the commercial aspects of that society that have attached themselves, particularly to the Christian religion.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Easter, you got to get the new wardrobe. Christmas, you got to go into massive debt to purchase the gifts. I think it is a function of sort of a breakdown in the value systems of Christianity in terms of preserving the fundamental purpose of the religion, and also the overwhelming nature of capitalism in terms of this whole thing of getting and spending and buying and then feeling guilty for not, following through on that.
Yeah.
And once those commercial forces take over, they dampen the spiritual value system. How do I still create a spirit of giving and love for folk, but not have to go into massive debt, to do that? Right. And I think that goes back to some training as well, because when we were coming along in school, there were certain things we got like home economics and, knowing the value of a dollar and knowing how to save and things like that. And I just think it's just the nature of the society where as capitalism has become more predatory. As Gordon Gekko says in the movie Wall Street, greed is good. And it is good if you use it in a way that's going to help build wealth, managerial wealth, and entrepreneurial wealth, but also if you can share things and not go into a situation of debt where you can't afford to get out and that kind of thing. So I think we have to go back to some basic lessons. And I think it goes back to the teachings, Paul, Logan. I think it goes back to the teachings that does the church and does Christianity enable these kinds of things with folk, in terms of, well, you got to do this and you got to do that. And, I take a page out of my own experience of, knowing, saying that Christmas was 12 days. And so I'm not going to have something under the tree on the 25th. I'm going to wait till the sales go on. Because nobody wanted nothing at Christmas. I said, okay, I got 11 more days.
Right.
Well, I don't have, I could go out and get something and nobody's going to say anything because nobody wanted anything. Yeah.
Right.
They didn't want nothing.
I used to get my Christmas gifts on the 26th.
To the 25th.
Because the day after, my grandparents, the day after Christmas went out of sales.
Yeah,
Everything
but see, I tried that and it backfired. And I'm like, well, you all first said that you don't want anything, but let's look at it from a more pragmatic standpoint. Why? I mean, if you got prices that are dropping 60% or whatever that is on the next day, why not? So I think it goes to value systems and teachings and all those different things that create part of this thing where we feel that we got to be under all this pressure and, to do these things, which take away from the concept of spiritual practice. It's almost like with New Year's. We make all these resolutions that usually have to do with weight reduction and all of these other things, and not, eating chocolate cheesecake and all of these physical things that had to do with the physical body. But what about calling a moratorium on anger? What about refraining from, being impatient? The spiritual things that we all need to work on. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the physical aspects of that, but a lot of times, we go on these diets and stuff and stay on them for a week or two, and then we're back. So where's the spiritual component of what we do in terms of practice? And that's what I was saying in a Facebook text not too long ago about patience and We want things right now. Lord, give me patience. And then the Lord sends us somebody that gets on our last nerve. And so there's a practice element to spirituality, Christian spirituality, that a lot of times we don't value as much as the Eastern religions and other religions. I want to practice my faith. How can I be more loving, more caring, more patient? And that's a continuing work in progress. I just think sometimes the world has overwhelmed us in ways that have just kind of taken over value systems. Well, we don't get back to the basics in terms of practice.
Yes, the value systems has definitely changed.
So, I think
yes. Let me ask you this final question. A lot of when in the middle of the pandemic, a lot of people are hurting. People losing loved ones, people losing their jobs, unemployment going up. We're dealing with social issues. We're dealing with political issues. The world is in a tizzy. 2020 has flipped people's lives upside down. Yes. Very dark time. And they even speak in dark winter. Okay. Give us some words of wisdom. People, they need it. Because I know a lot of people losing hope. A lot of people getting tired. They're questioning God. Yeah, I know they are. Give us, them, everybody some words of wisdom.
That's good. I think concentrating on personal history with God and the experiences that we've come through that we have worried ourselves to death over, but didn't turn out to be worth worrying about, and God delivered. I think once a person loses hope or faith that things can get better, and they begin to throw in the towel, as one parishioner said to me, almost in a spirit of defeatism, we don't ever want to abandon hope and faith and trust that God will deliver, because I do believe, in the words of Dr. King, that the moral arc of the universe bends towards justice and truth and equity. And I think as the pendulum swings to extremism, hatred and resentment and alienation and all of that stuff, it's got to swing back toward justice. And I say, hold on, but I also say, don't isolate yourself. Find a way to be in membership or connection with a community, be it family, be it neighbors, be it church, be it synagogue, be it mosque, whatever that is. Find ways of having meaningful connections with a group of people who can help you to provide a perspective, who can listen to you. And that's what I'm saying, listening to learn. So much of listening is listening to hear what we already know rather than to discover what we need to know around people that care about you. And that's what we say about the church, of reaching out to the parishioners and members and wanting to make sure if they are in good health. And good health means more than medical care. It means spiritual health. Yes. It means having enough food. It means having the basic means of subsistence. And that's what God has been saying since the beginning of our faith tradition. It's how we treating, how you treating my people. That's what the covenant is all about. It's not a thing where it's just me. The God is interested in how we regulate resources in society, how we distribute those resources, the widows and orphans and everybody in between, how the leaders are messing up on that and corrupting stuff. And how do we get to a point where we can help people to see the Spirit of God through acts of mercy and grace and listening and care? So many workers in these situations now are experiencing what they call compassion fatigue. They're overwhelmed. Mm-hmm. They are burned out. But how do we provide care for the caregivers? People on the front lines. I think those are central issues in terms of caring for people and finding ways to let people know that we're moving. Even with the last elections, that's a sign of hope. It may not be everything that we expect it to be right away, but I know it's got to be better than it's been the last 4 years.
Yes.
It's got to be
Yes.
when you have someone who is compassionate, not going to provide all of the answers we need, but at least helping the people. Providing, why did the stimulus stuff lag so long? Because you got a Luciferian management of the resources. How you gonna, walk away when you got folks that are starving and hungry, and you got more than enough money in the budget? Yeah, you the Grim Reaper, all right. But I say, in the words of Wynton Marsalis, who said that his grandmother told him this: there's a board for every behind. And you got to get to the point where understanding what goes around comes around. And I'm saying it's all about compassion. So now we got some movement and some traction on that. It's the people's money anyway. They pay the taxes. Why can't you? You spend $11 billion disappears from the Pentagon budget that you don't know where it went. You got a lot of wastefulness.
Right.
Let's do right by the people. Let's hold the political leaders accountable, everybody, so we can work together and begin to build the bridges and take the walls that exist, lay them down, make them into bridges. If you got a whole lot of resources, don't build more walls, lengthen the table so others can sit there. And so we have initiatives where we're giving away food. In fact, today we got an angel tree thing that we're doing in terms of giving away and giving back as much as we can to the community and giving it with a cheerful spirit. When we house the homeless over at Hope for 1 week in partnership with COTS with 51 other churches in Oakland County, it was all about hospitality. Why can't we get to that spirit? And so hopefully we can get some of these greed merchants out of the way and some of the other folks, and so it can be kinder and gentler. But meanwhile, we have to do, if we know about something, we need to try as much as we can to do something about what we know to help. And I think it's a simple thing like that. And making sure that we are active agents in that process of giving and that love sharing and that, without a whole lot of strings and attachments, to say to people, we love you. We want to do right by you. And we're going to do everything that we can. And that's why I'm always sensitive to other pastors who are working in the community, and people say, well, the church ain't this and the church ain't that. I say, you don't know what the church is doing. Some are struggling to keep their lights on. Some of them are experiencing foreclosure. You got a lot of dynamics that have been affected by this, and we need to just do all the good we can. That's my philosophy. And I think that was the philosophy of Jesus of Nazareth, with folks standing around making judgments about who he's healing because they don't think the person that he's healing needs to be healed. That ain't your call. That's God's call. And that should be for everybody. Everybody's a person. Everybody has value. But when we get into this, and that's why his ministry was to the expendables, the throwawayables, the untouchables. Everybody was welcome to the table. He didn't deny the rich folk and all the other folk, but there were some qualifications. If you got more, give more. Simple thing. When everybody does better, everybody does better. There it is.
Love thy neighbor.
There it is. So, without preaching, sound like I'm preaching, because y'all fire me up, man. I love this discussion. I'm still floating from the last.
I love it.
So we don't get everything. We get an opportunity to kind of go on a rant like this, but it's all good.
No. This is needed. It's needed, and people need it. I try to tell them, we're in the middle of a spiritual warfare. We have to remember that. We're in the middle of a spiritual warfare, and Satan has always said that, if you take anything away from your people, they'll spit in your face, they'll forsake you. And God has let Satan test his people throughout history. But then when you stand firm and don't forsake God, he'll step in and say, that's enough, Satan.
Yeah.
Back off. And that's that pendulum that you was talking about.
Yeah.
When that pendulum swings. Yeah, it'll be over here with the Luciferian.
Yeah.
But then God will step in and say, that's enough.
Right.
You've tested him. He didn't forsake me.
Yeah.
Leave him alone. And then that's when that pendulum swings back. So that's what I try to tell people. Just hold on. Because God is not going to forsake us. I know it's bad. I know there's different things that's going on. But it's not going to stay this way.
You got it.
It's not going to stay this way. It's impossible. Because the bottom line is, God say, I'll cut the day short to save my own people.
Yeah. So, absolutely. And the sun will eventually shine.
So it's going to
I don't care how dark or how cloudy it gets. You're absolutely right. The sun, S-U-N and S-O-N, will shine in these situations. And to model that hope and that faith and that goodness as much as possible, I think is important now for believers, particularly because we should be leading the way anyway and not just reacting to society. Some things we can't help, but we need to be leading the way, shining the light. What it says in John 1, that there's a light shining in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it, overpowered it, wiped it out. That's the light of Christ. So, and I know sometimes it's, easier said than done, but we have to keep at it. We have to keep at it. And I thank God for the opportunity, every chance we get to try to do that,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So,
hey, Pastor, we thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming on our show and giving us your insight and those words of comfort. And I'm sure our viewers out there that are listening are going to take heed and
dynamic.
Very, 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 very. And again, appreciate you. And then our closing here, just a couple things. And for me, to our viewers, and what's been said has been said, but I will say this to our viewers, from me, just like Paul, just hold on. Things will be fine. It may not look that way. It's probably easier said than done. Okay. But if you got the Spirit of Christ in you, the Spirit of Christ will come out of you.
Yeah.
Just hold on. Just hold on.
Yeah. Hold on.
Couple things. First of all, our condolences to the Napoleon family and Benny Napoleon passed, and know him personally myself, and our condolences to the family. But we all know where Brother Benny is, and that's comforting to know where he is.
Yes. Absolutely. He was a good man.
Absolutely.
A good man.
Yes.
To set goals and he set standards. He had impeccable integrity.
Yes.
He had a heart for service. He made an imprint.
Yes.
Which becomes a blueprint for others to follow. And we're thankful for that kind of leadership in the world today, and we need more of it. And blessings to his family and to all others who were involved with him in terms of service to the community and beyond. So we'll be missed. We thank God for his spirit and his gentleness, his firmness, and his sense of somebodyness that it really speaks volumes. So thank you for that.
Yes. Amen. 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 And also, we want to give a positive affirmation shout out to the young man, Keontae Johnson, who's a young basketball player at the University of Florida, who collapsed on last Saturday during a game. He's now out of that induced coma. He made a little short video to his teammates and his family. And we just praise God, thank God for his healing, and may that young man continue to heal. But we are so grateful and pleased and give thanks to God for his healing power within that young man. And again, our show is brought to you by 22 Design Studios. And Mr. Dave Walker is our executive producer. We give a shout out to him. And our next podcast is January 2nd. And again, we will have our listening side, iHeartRadio and Spotify. We are still on Riverside FM. We still will be live on Facebook and on YouTube channels. But we have a listening side now coming in, which will be iHeartRadio and Spotify. Yeah. Again, we thank you, Reverend Pastor.
Thank you, Pastor. Very nice.
Thank you, man.
Very nice.
Thank you so much for coming on, and we'll see everybody next year. Paul, you got anything before we close?
On that, my thing is this: go enjoy your shopping. Be safe out there. Wear your mask. Like I say, we can see the light at the end of the tunnel, but remember that Christmas is about the birth of Christ. He was born to die for our sins. Remember that he was born to die for our sins. So remember that when you think about Christmas.
Yes. We will see you next year. Next year, January 2nd. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everybody. Remember, Jesus is the reason for the season.
Yes.
Everybody have a happy holiday, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
All right.
Peace.
Take care.
Take care. God bless.
Okay.
Coming back. Hold on, gentlemen. Okay. I had to shut everything off. I had to go into YouTube and close that out.
Okay.
Hold on one second. Hold on. Let me make sure I go to okay.
Okay.
Okay. It's recording now. Hey, Pastor, thank you so much.
Thank you, Pastor.
We had some viewers. I didn't have a chance to go on there, but I think some of your parishioners came on. So this will be up on our website in 24 hours. It will be YouTube. Is on our YouTube channel now. I think after we're done. But I know our producer is going to edit it because we have a little video that we put, a little intro. He's going to do all of that. So if you want to, get a copy of it, once it's edited, we can send you one.
Okay.
If you want to do it. That was excellent.
Thank you. You're
that was
to make it happen. I'm gonna tell you, you bring that spirit, the experience. It's just great. It's great having that kind of conversation. Whoa.
Yes, sir.
I loved it.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
I told.
Yeah. Real quick, Pastor. Let me. T-shirts are in, as you can see. I'm going to send you yours. I just need your address.
Give me your address. What you want, the church or home address? Okay.
Whichever one you want me to send.
The church address. The church address. 24300 Southfield Road.
Robbing the bags.
24300 Southfield Road. Okay.
Southfield, Michigan.
Okay.
76
480
75. Yeah. Yes.
The Empowerment Church. And I might have said that wrong. Your church is in Southfield.
It's Detroit Metro. You're right, because it fans out. It's got people from different places. So we claim Detroit too. Okay. We're not physically located there, but we're in ministry to the city.
Okay.
So
okay. So I will send that out next week to you. And XL, right?
And how can we support you? I
Okay.
know with the youth services, we want to also, look at ways that the church can maybe support your efforts, for the next year.
Okay.
How
Well,
we can do that in a way that will, help make things better for you.
well, if you got any donations, I'm gonna give you my producer's
Okay.
Cash App, because everything you give will go to him towards our broadcast. We do flyers. We got paid for the studio where we're in is Riverside FM. So here's this. Let me get it right. Oh, wait 1 second. Let me get it.
Man, that was nice, Pastor.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
You got roll, Paul?
I'm good.
Okay. Okay. Wait a minute. It's a $22 Design Studio, just like it reads. I'm sorry, 20, then the number 2.
Okay.
20, then 2.
Okay.
Design Studio. $22 Design Studio.
Okay.
And they'll probably come up David Walker.
Okay.
But that's our executive producer.
Okay.
Whatever you give will go towards the overhead of this.
Man, I understand.
We appreciate it. We appreciate it, man. So yeah, this record is uploading now, and again, it'll be on our social media sites within a day. And I know you say you got a community effort going on today.
A giveaway for what we call the Angel Tree for families in need for Christmas. Yeah. Just to kind of keep that value in terms of helping people as many as we can. We did food giveaway a couple weeks ago and had a lot of folks lined up, even over all the way up Vernon Road in Southfield. The food giveaways for folks with illness, and try to keep that value system at the forefront and wanting to grow it, each year as we engage in acts of service to folks, which are very, very important to us. We've been actively engaged in that. And
wonderful.
Oh, wow. We did that too at Corinthian. We've done Angel Tree. Even in the midst of pandemic, I wish we could do more of that. We haven't done anything in that regards yet this year.
Depends on what your resources are. Sometimes it's just a kind word that can go a long way for folks. And little things, can make all the difference in the world, and until you can get better positioned to do better.
Yes.
I think some organizations now, just even being able to survive and move through this for the future is a gift, because so many organizations have fallen away, and and that kind of thing. But as you say, it'll get better. We'll keep hope and move forward, Spirit of it,
Yeah. Well, hey, stay blessed, Pastor. This holiday.
Y'all too, man. Y'all too. I appreciate it.
And I'm gonna be seeing you. I see you online every morning.
Keep up with you, man. I want to get that book. When you get that book of the wisdom sayings of Paul Garfield.
Yeah. You know what? I got. Like I said, I got something. I was reading. A person reached out to me, man, and I authored one book and co-authored 3 other ones, but I never did the wisdom quote. And he had reached out to me with a concept, and he's sending me his book. He want to show me exactly what he did, and how he did it. All right,
That's good.
And
those are beneficial statements. I started dropping some excerpts from my novel. I'm back to writing now again. Well, since I've been on Facebook, which has been very creative for me and exciting to start writing again, because I had fallen off from that. So everything is good with this new idiom or medium to reach folk. It's good.
Yes. And like one lady, she told me, like I try to tell people, I say, don't never ever pay attention to likes. Okay. Because people they don't click that. But when you look at the amount of people you have reached,
that's the key,
right? You've been 300 people that read it. All right. And this lady came to me. She said, you just do not know how many people. Because she's the Wayne County Sheriff, and she shares she works midnights, so she shares my post with everybody down there at the county. Okay, and like she said, it's because of the consistency. Like I was telling Brother Logan. You don't realize how long you've been doing this until the memories come up. And it's generally posted a memory, and it was a post I did in 2017. Yeah. So I've been consistently doing this for going on 4 years. Yeah. So it's that's when they know that.
Yeah. And you got
it's real. And
you got influences. I had started out in 2014 with tweets. Because one of my members got me connected with Twitter, and then I got on Facebook, and then fell off of it because I just didn't have the time to do it. And then since the pandemic, with the web streaming and getting back on Facebook has been real good in terms of building up and still learning it. Trying to figure some things out, and then over to Instagram.
Right.
But glad that I started, and then so the memories come back. The quotes and things, which I'm grateful for. Anything that's going to lift the spirit to help people feel better and that kind of thing, I say is worth it, because you just don't know what folks are going to do.
Right. You just don't know.
Right.
Especially times like these, man.
And you always got a segment of the community, some people that don't want to admit or share what they're going through, and feel good to say good things and do good things anyway. I think I'm important in that. So
right. I'll take it like this. When people ask me, I say I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just planting a seed. Just plant a seed. All right. Some people receive quick. Some people. You plant that seed, they might not receive it for a year from now. I know this one lady told me, I had a radio show that I had it for maybe about a year and a half. And, then I had to start because I was coaching basketball with my son on Sundays. But it was called Push Through with Paul Garwood. Okay. And she came back and she started getting good trouble. She's out of DC. All right. And she wanted me to be a part of it, okay? And like a consultant, and I kept on trying to figure out where did we meet? Okay? And I was going through, and I finally seen a message that she sent me on Messenger after one of my shows. And my show was You're Not Stuck. Okay. That was my show. And she sent me a message back in 2017. She said, you saved my life. You've changed my life. Wow. And that's what she sent me. And I sent her a message back and said, you're the reason why I do these shows. And that's the only contact that we ever had.
That's amazing. Wow.
And then right. You understand? So, and when you're helping people, you know the old saying, when I was growing up, I don't care if I help one person. You know what I'm talking about? If I only help one person, I
absolutely, man. I agree with that 100%. And like you say, just keep doing it. You may not have active memory of the when and where, but at some point, if you're privileged to get that, it's doing good. Like you say, planting the seed, and make no apologies. I make no apologies for sharing good, man. I don't. Because folks always, well, where are you?
No.
You know, even since I've been on Facebook building up followers, you know, I got the chaperones that are, you know, well, who is this? And I said, these are people in the church, and then people beyond the church that you're trying to reach with words of wisdom. And some of them, you know, many of them you don't know, but you are called doing good as long as you can do it. And I'm not making any apologies for that, and I'm not going to stop doing or saying what I need to say. Folks to lift their spirits.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's interesting how church people can be very, very territorial and very, very, well, you know, constricted. You know, and I'm saying this is part of the ministry outreach, part of building that ministry. I think 2,000 something friends and stuff like that. And I think when I got off Facebook before, I had 5 followers or friends. I didn't have time for it, but now it's different, and I'm thankful. So, yeah.
You know what I do? That's last thing before we leave. You know, a lot of these people I've never met. They're not even around here. Okay. So I always say that because I've been doing it for so long, you know, I'm considered an influencer. Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm a humble man. I don't put myself in up on a pedestal. I don't. I'm just a common guy. Okay. Stan Harper Woods. But I feel like that some people, because of what I do, you know, they look at me not on a pedestal, but that I'm a person of influence, because you know how somebody like TD Jakes or somebody like, you know, they can post stuff, and if they say something to them, you're never going to get a response back from TD Jakes.
That's right.
Okay, right. But some people I post and they'll say good morning, and I'll go back and say good morning to you. Yeah. And man, the response from it's almost like they say he spoke to me.
That engagement, you got to engage like that. That's how
most people don't engage like that. Yeah. I make it a point. If you say if I make a post and you come on and say good morning to me, I make it a point to go back and say good morning to you.
That's it.
You know what I'm talking about? But it's almost like it's a shock. You know,
goes a long way.
Yeah,
he spoke to me.
That's been one of my learning curves with this whole thing of going back and trying to give a response or reply or something, you know, that's going to say, I hear you and I feel you, and you know, have a great day. That goes a long way.
Right. That goes a long way.
And you never know. Like this, and I want to ask you, who was this lady? Just real quick, Edith. Is that one? Is that a church member or one of ours? Edith. Her name is Edith.
Oh no, she's one of my followers. Edith.
Okay.
Edith Chance.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I've been knowing Edith probably 20 years.
Okay.
And she said came in and said she was following the show. Yep.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's going to happen is what happens a lot, Pastor, is that we had some people watching. I created a watch party. I think Paul created a watch party on his end.
I tried to create one, it wouldn't let me.
Okay.
Yeah, mine went.
Okay.
Yeah. But people will come back onto the page and watch the show. Yeah. We'll look around tomorrow. We have
that's
about 400.
That's how it goes. That's what I learned with the web streaming too, in terms of people will actively watch, and then after a week, you got a lot more folks.
Oh, they'll come back and wait a minute. They might got busy. Let me. They know it's recorded, so they'll come back.
That technology is something, man. I tell you, it's just amazing. The doors and windows is open just in terms of outreach and trying to stay active and staying astride of what's going on and keeping in touch with people.
Right.
We're going to expand it. We're going to expand it too. We'll have a listening side,
audio
with iHeartRadio and Spotify.
Yeah,
that's on the listening.
Okay.
Somebody just asked me if you was Bob Lanier's brother.
Who?
Cousin.
Yeah, I told him. I told him you was his father.
Who
but
who was that?
Who asked that?
Was that local to me? What? Ask me.
No. Logan Lanier.
Okay.
Yeah, so I told him to
No,
cut.
we're cousins.
I think
We're
Y'all got
actually
the names,
cousins.
man. I mean, when you hear those names, like Logan Lanier, okay, now, okay, these are somebody. Paul Garwood,
right.
you know, is he, you know, yeah, Asian out of Hollywood.
No, not me, man. That's
Logan
the man
Lanier,
right there.
Come on now, come on.
No, yeah, man, that dude got a Logan Lanier got a little.
You know anybody named Logan Lanier?
I just made my mark.
I
I made my mark on a high school level coaching.
man.
That's what I made. That's how I made. That's it.
He made his mark. He made his mark at Central on that locking down people on that defense. He was fast like Gus Williams, like the Wizard. You know what I'm talking about? You know, he was fast like the Wizard.
Man, I was fast, but I was very underrated. Nobody knew me when I played in high school. There's too many Marlon McClains and Keith Smiths and
where are they, Logan? Did they go on to continue?
Well, Keith, Keith Smith and them, all those guys. Keith went to U of M, and then he got out of that and went into corrections, I think.
Yeah. So they got.
And
what you remember about Keith Smith, man, at Michigan?
At Michigan?
Yeah. It's one thing there's one thing
I can't remember.
It was a Thursday.
I know he had 36 on us on the high school.
Right. It was a Thursday night. It was a Thursday night. Michigan played Michigan State, man. Keith Smith hit them 2 free throws to beat Max.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know he hit 36 points on me and Earl Hoskins. We both was
Earl
trying to check
Hoskins,
him. You remember Earl Hoskins?
Oh, yeah, Earl Hoskins.
That boy, man, hit 36 in our gym.
Man, 6'1".
Central gym.
6'1", fast, man.
36 points.
Right. Yeah. That's what I said about Nayron Monk. Nayron Monk came to Inkster. Nayron Monk came to Inkster and went for 44. And you know, and then the other one was Merch, man. Man, East Catholic came through, man. That's the first time I ever seen Merch, man.
Did you know Merch and
I've heard
Pastor?
Yeah.
Merch. So his brother just passed. Yeah. Nikito just passed.
Yeah, man. Him and his brother Cupcake, man, and Dinky, they came to Inkster, man. Them brothers, man, you know, and we ended up beating them. That was a big fight after the game.
We don't win the game, we will win the fight.
But you had a period with John Mayberry.
Was Teasley the coach then? Ron Teasley? Who was the coach at Northwestern when Mayberry was there?
Probably Snowden, right?
Snowden was coaching baseball.
Yeah.
Basketball too, I think. Yeah. And Teasley was helping with baseball. Yeah.
Oh, Teasley was helping with baseball. Okay.
And then Sam Poole, who was over the West Side Cubs. Okay. And, you know, he was kind of a coach because Alvin, his son, played. And, you know, so yeah. Yeah, it's a pretty.
My grandfather had a saying about Mayberry. She said Mayberry knocked the leather off the ball. Hit the ball so hard.
And I saw him when he was still playing. When I went to see him at the Chicago Stadium, I was living there where he was playing. The Royals were playing the White Sox, and we talked for a little while. And it was good to see him. But you know, we knew back then, this guy, man, the way the ball sounded going off.
Oh wow!
You know, had others too, like Lincoln Clark, who was played shortstop, was a human vacuum cleaner, got drafted by the Montreal Expos, but then fell on some difficulties there.
So where did Dennis Rogers
he
play?
I think Dennis played third base. I mean, Dennis had finesse. He was a good baller. He, was a good fielder, a good clutch hitter. He had game, and then definitely, man. Dennis.
But he's not. Wait a minute. I'm in interruption. He told the story. He was a starting point guard at Northwestern. He got sick, and in comes
Curtis Jones. Yes, sir.
Curtis Jones. He was a starting point guard. He got sick.
And Curtis Jones.
He stayed home. Curtis Jones came in, never looked back.
Nobody like Curtis Jones, man. Then they sent him to a school out in Idaho or something.
North Dakota.
Like, where was the support systems there? See, a lot of times folks get sent to these places, but they don't get the cultural support systems. What man, I never seen anybody ball like Curtis Jones.
But they failed him here. He couldn't read, man.
You know,
they failed him. They failed. You know, I mean, you know, by him, the Detroit public school. There's no way you're supposed to get to 12. You know, get to 12th grade and don't know how to read.
That's true, man. You know,
no, talking about you don't went to school from kindergarten to 12th grade and you don't know how to read, and then you go out. Then they send him to North Dakota illiterate.
Yeah, that's a failure situation.
You know. Yeah, they should have sent him straight. You know, they should have sent him to the Eastern League or sent him to the ABA. They shouldn't even try to send him to college, man.
Well, junior college, they should send him to a junior college. You know.
Oh yeah, could have got but he needed to learn how to read.
Yeah, and they didn't.
Well, Larry Fogel was the same way.
Yeah, Fogel, man.
Yeah, but you know, we get into these situations where you know folks don't understand what the learning challenges are. You know, and then we get stigmatized.
Yeah.
And don't get
Prop 48, me.
Okay.
I was a Prop 48.
Yeah.
Remember Prop 48?
Okay. Yeah, you don't get the, you know, and getting the support and people understanding what you you know, the challenge that you got, because everybody's got different learning abilities and things of this nature, you know.
And you had this culture too. You had this culture. Man, when you back then, if you could play basketball, man, you didn't really have to go to school, man.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I'm for real, man. I mean, that was just the culture back then, man. You know, it was the same way at Inkster High. It was the same way, man. You know, at an inner city school, if you can hoop, you ain't ready to go to school, man. You know, tomorrow, and then you showed up to class, you ain't had to do nothing.
That's a sad situation too, man.
And that was a sad situation, man. You know, tomorrow, you know, but that's how it was.
Yeah, the culture, the system. This didn't have the supports and understand, and then we get put in these different categories and don't get the help that we need to get, and you know, and then it becomes a failed type situation, and then people point fingers and blame the person, but not understanding that the system has failed. And
that's why if you look back in that era, and one day we could I ain't gonna say have a show on it because I'm like calling people out, but like you say, we would sit down and just talk about players and how many of them didn't finish college.
That's true.
They were stars, okay? Got scholarships. Went out there, Arizona. Went out there to University of Pittsburgh. They didn't get degrees. You know, tomorrow, you know, then now the ones that had some intelligence that were just being pushed through, like the Antoine Jouberts and stuff like that, well, they went back and got that degree
afterwards.
All right, you know, and they doing things a lot. You know, a lot of ones that just let you know that they could have did it then, but you know they were being pushed through. A lot of them went back and got their degrees, but it's a lot of them they never did get their degrees, man. They didn't finish.
They never got it. Yeah.
Play 1 year, 2 years at the most, you know,
and then check out, punch out.
Right, then check out.
That's
man. They weren't preparing them. You know, they weren't preparing them to, and that shows the power of the man. The coaches back then had power, man.
Yeah, you're right.
They had power within that school. Yeah, for real. You weren't gonna flunk Big Bob, or you weren't gonna flunk. Right. You know, talking about, man. You know, you weren't finna flunk them. You weren't finna pass them, man. And it's December. Northwestern about to play Central. Report cards to come out, and you ain't finna flunk Bob the way he ineligible for that game.
Man. What?
I'll say another one real quick.
Oh yeah,
George Gervin.
Yeah, Gervin, man. Yeah,
serious hooper, man. Serious. Yeah.
But he couldn't spell cat back in the day.
Yeah.
Because he went to, wait a minute, which one did he go to first? Did he go to Eastern, then Long Beach State?
Went to Eastern first.
Yeah. I know.
Went out to Long Beach with Tarkanian, but didn't play.
Lamont King.
Something happened.
I think Long Beach State too. Lamont King.
Gervin hit that referee. Gervin hit that referee.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Gervin hit that referee up in Eastern, man.
But he went to Long Beach State with Tarkanian.
Yeah.
But he didn't have. He couldn't. He had a grade.
He had a grade. Then he was at Eastern. Then after that, he went to the Eastern League. They used to have that Eastern League. All right, and then he went from the Eastern League
ABA to the ABA.
Right, but Gervin, man, Gervin was almost got blackballed. He knocked that referee out.
I didn't know that.
Up at Eastern.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I was little.
Yeah.
I mean, we were.
And that's all they was talking about, Gervin. You know, but all that came from how they used to cheat the PSL.
But it failed them though, man. System failed all those great players.
Didn't give them what they really needed to be successful and to get the education, and even if it had been a different curriculum or something, they just didn't have the. And then we get stigmatized and labeled, and once the label gets on you, and then that follows you, all these different strengths
forever, man. Dumb, it's that dumb jock syndrome, man. You don't never want to have that dumb jock syndrome.
That's right. You're right.
Yeah, that's why I tell I had a son at 46. He's 6'2". He played basketball. I tell him, I said, man, you want to do your work. But you don't never want this label. Oh, he can hoop.
You can't read.
But man, his grades his grades is it's that dumb. You become that dumb jock.
Not a scholar athlete. You want a scholar athlete if you can.
You want to be a scholar athlete, right? You don't want to be a dumb jock.
Absolutely, man. Get the grade too, and fortunately, you get more models like that now, which is good because you got the support systems and the understanding. It's not just exploiting the athletes, for their talents, and then the schools get the money and the benefit and all of these different types of things. But you're creating an environment where they can be successful. I think is important, and it's more than just the person. I was talking to somebody about alcohol treatment centers and how they used to do this thing where they would take the person out of the home and then treat them, and they'd be in a facility for a while and then put them back in the home. And then the triggers would go off again. Genetics loads the gun, the environment loads the trigger. So what happens? They say, now wait, maybe we need to treat the family. Why are we taking them out of the environment, put them in a pristine environment, and then putting them back in the environment? Obviously, there's something in the environment, in the family environment situation that triggers the behavior. So,
but that's
just every time.
That's how it is. That's how it is with the criminal. The prison system.
Yeah.
They go to prison. They go to prison being that disciplined environment.
Yeah.
I've seen guys go there, get their GED, get their associate, get their bachelor's, master's.
Right.
Okay. But they go there, man. But then when they then they come out and go back on the block. You coming back to the same environment that got you in trouble. But it's a vicious cycle because of systemic racism, where it was only certain places you can live. You ain't got nowhere to go but to come back to the hood. They say little stuff like, okay, you can't get no job at a car wash because they know that the car wash was one of the number one places where they was the dope boys would buy car washes and they were selling drugs through the car wash. You come in and get your car washed. Some of man, and while they vacuuming your car, you pay them, and they go and put it in your glove compartment or put it in your ashtray. All right, so they tell Logan, no, he was the PO. I was a correction officer. He was the PO. That's what they did. You couldn't get a job at a car wash.
Mm-hmm. They still do it.
They still do that. Oh,
man.
Especially the hand car wash. Yeah. If you go to a hand car wash. And speaking of Wyoming you remember the hand car wash on Wyoming and 6 Mile?
Yeah.
It's be a hand car wash
right there.
Okay. Wow.
Oh yeah.
The one right there on on Southfield Schoolcraft.
Okay, Southfield Schoolcraft. Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, that big one. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that
No
big,
place,
yeah.
huh?
You know. Oh, and then you can't get no job as driving an ice cream truck either.
Hey man, listen. We didn't do this, but me and Mo,
That's been just like Friday.
wait a minute. Me and Mo, Paul know Maurice Adams. I don't think you know him, Pastor.
Okay, so,
Mo Adams. He went to Central with me. We were teammates. His dad.
Yeah.
Remember Good Humor?
Yeah.
His dad owned a Good Humor truck. But no, we didn't. No. I remember balling up in Hackett.
Yeah.
And I worked with Mo because he drove it on Sundays. His father drove it through all the other days. But Mo's summer job was to drive his.
Yeah.
Once we got our license, we had to drive the ice cream truck. Mo would come up to Hackett to pick me up. And I'd be out there, man, balling. He said, "Come on, man, we gotta go to work." I'm trying to get. Wait a minute. I'm trying. Mo, hey, wait a minute. Hey, Pastor Mo can hoop, man. Paul will tell you, this boy can play. He went to Delaware State, then transferred to Eastern, and played with Jim Boyce. I was supposed to went to Eastern out of Central. I was a prop 48. Okay, talking about the system almost failed somebody. I went to junior college. I went to Highland Park Community College. Then I went to Adrian.
College. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
Yeah. But I was supposed to go to Eastern out of high school with Jim Boyce. And Mo was supposed to win too, but he went to Delaware State, which is HBCU.
We would have played together because I was at Schoolcraft. I was going to Eastern when my first son was born, and I started playing. He'd have been there when I got there.
Wow. Yeah.
I would have been. I would have been there.
Yeah, you'd have been there. You'd have been there when I got there. You'd have been. Prop 48. So you'd have been a junior when I got there.
Yep.
Paths,
Prop 48.
Come together and how they diverge, man. Interesting. Yeah. It's all right.
And PSL
because Phil Blevins from Central. Me and him was born together.
Yeah.
Man, coaches were coaches.
Yeah,
they ain't paid no stuff.
Yeah,
we got paddled.
Yeah.
Oh, we got hit with a paddle. We didn't. Man.
Anybody got wood?
With a wood. That was Coach Henry. Where my wood?
Or that fight, or they started making that fiberglass paddle.
Oh no, I had wood.
Fiberglass with the holes in it.
Fraternity, man. I know what wood is. I was like, okay, it's like. What is what is this? And nobody in here with the last name Wood. What Wood you talking about?
Oh, you got hit with that wood too when you played.
Oh yeah, and I had hemorrhoids online.
Oh, are you Alpha or Kappa? Okay,
Kappa, man. That was like it worked out, but it's like okay, we're gonna modify. We're gonna modify this pledge, period.
You went to college though, pledge.
Yeah,
so.
No brutality, no. It's like, man, go over and sit down and watch what we're gonna.
It was just different, man. When you play football, man. When you play football, they used to say you had to go through the rickets. Well, you had to go through that line, man.
That's it, man.
Remember that? They wouldn't even know nothing about that now. Man, you got to go through the. If you was in a game, you had to go through the rickets.
Like rickets.
Man.
Oh, rickets? Yeah. Okay.
They don't know nothing about it. You tell some of these young guys that now they don't know nothing about that.
They don't know nothing about going through the rickets, man.
Talking about rickets and root to peg, and
Yeah. Man, you got beat in, you got beat out. You got beat in, you got beat out. I try to tell
my son that, man, he want proof and he want all this stuff. Man, I said,
with all this proof,
I said, listen, man, listen to what I'm telling you. Okay, I ain't just talking for my health.
Yeah, you've been through.
Hey,
Hey, Pastor, when I was in 9th grade, I got mad at my coach, man, and I ran out the gym and went home.
Oh.
I came back the next day. I apologized. And he said, well, I'm going to make sure you never do that again. He said, you in 9th grade, right? I said, yeah. You know I'm in 9th. I'm on freshman team. I had to take 9 licks to get back on the team.
Woo. 9. That's good.
I had to take 9 licks to get back on the team.
That's serious pain, man.
That's serious pain, man.
With no break in between.
No.
Pow.
No. Pow. Man, I had to take 9.
That's almost
man.
as good as me running away from home. One day I decided I'm gonna run away from home and get down at the mailbox in Ironwood and Vancouver, and realize that I hadn't had dinner. I said, I got that. That was the shortest run, man. I ran all the way back home, and because they knew what was going on. I would give these little tops that never run away from home at dinner time.
Hey, Pastor. Let me tell you the foolish thing I did. I got mad. I wrote a note. I lifted up my window, lifted up the screen window, so I'm letting flies and everything in the house, in my bedroom. And then I wrote a note and put on my bed, y'all don't love me no more, and I'm gone. I'm run away. But I was hiding in my closet. All right, so I'm in my closet, man. Okay, so my grandmother comes in. I hear when she picked up the note. She picked up the note. I'm like, I'm expecting her to start screaming for my grandfather. Hey, Tony, this boy that ran away. She didn't say a word. She went and got the belt, came back, opened up that closet, and beat me out of it.
No hiding place, man.
She talking about how you gonna should have had this window and screen up and these flies in my house.
Hey, you dealing with the master psychologist.
She beat me out that
you
closet.
Dealing with the master psychologist back then, man.
Oh man. Oh my God.
Grandmama and
oh my
no, grandma. Wait a minute, mother. And mothers too.
Yeah,
right.
Let me say this.
Man, I'm thinking when she picked it up, I just knew she was gonna pick it up and automatically start screaming for my grandfather. Tony, this boy that ran away. She ain't said a word.
Now, Pastor, let me say this, and I'm gonna cut y'all. Let me say this.
Okay, I know we gotta go.
I had to be 16 or 17. And my uncle was Pastor Dexter Avenue.
Yeah.
Dr. Haney.
Yes.
Now I got my license. It's Easter, but I'm hanging out Saturday night. Now wait a minute. My mother didn't have a car, so Pastor Haney and my aunt, they had 2 cars. So my aunt, because my sister, because I got my license, she allowed me to take one of the cars home, so me and my sister can come to church. My mother didn't go to church at that time. Her and Pastor Haney went together in the one car, and she gave me the car for me and my sister. Now I'm hanging out, right? Saturday night, go to my boy's house. It was about 6 of us. His mother and dad went out of town for the holiday. His father got a full bar. We drinking old granddad and old English 800.
Oh God!
We call it oldie.
Oh yeah.
Old granddad and old English 800. Oldie, we call it oldie.
Y'all mixed it. Oh my God!
We mixed it.
Oh,
wait a minute. I had to go pick up. Wait a minute. Paul knows. You know Edmund Sumner, don't you? That played for the. Paul, you froze? I think he froze. Paul, you there? Wait a minute. He froze out. But anyway,
Uh-huh.
I went and picked up another friend of ours.
Uh-huh.
I did not know. Well, I was kind of bent, but not all the way bent. I went and picked him up, came back to the house. I didn't leave, man, till maybe 1 a.m.
Mm.
Oh, there you go, Paul. I went and picked up, Edmund Sumner that played for the Pacers, right?
All right, Edmund, Sumner.
Edmund Sumner, his uncle. I went and picked him up, man, brought him back to the house. We was all over the drink. So I got home, man, about 1:30. I got into bed. I woke up now church starts at 10:45. We at 10:40 start 10:45. I get up at 8:39. I'm hung over. I done been to the bathroom. I'm crawling to the bathroom.
Oh man.
I go back the second time. I remember this well. I'm crawling. My mother comes out of her room, steps over me, crawling. Didn't say a word. Stepped over me. I got back in the bed. I wasn't going to church that day, right? Wrong.
Oh my God. Oh.
Get your, because church starts at 10:45.
Yeah.
My aunt calling, they on their way. It is 10 o'clock. Get up. I don't care.
Yeah.
Shower.
Yeah.
Man, I got to church. So you got the pulpit and my aunt being the first lady. And they didn't have any kids, so we were like their kids, So she sat off to the side because she's the first lady. We had to sit next to her. Congregation, Easter Sunday is packed. Man, I sat there the whole service. Man, I was.
Boy, man.
My point is, my mother said, "I don't give." You drunk? Oh, okay. No, you get up out here doing church today.
You going? You come in like this, you going?
Man, the stuff they used to do.
She pulled the covers off me. Woof.
Yeah.
I'm in church like this. I'm in church doing this.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that.
Almost falling asleep. I'm sitting a couple up from my grandmother. Okay.
Yeah.
She threw the doggone Bible and he hold my head up. She threw the doggone Bible. And then they should get away with it. They should talk about it. Everybody be laughing like, you better wake up.
Hey man,
with the doggone Bible.
No shame, brother.
They had no shame.
It's like public, whippings, all of that, man. It was like, okay.
And talk about it. And here's the thing about it. Go and talk about it. I almost choked him to death. Right? And you know that thing got marks all around your neck.
Yeah. They be doing double life now, man. If they
be doing double life now. Them whelps you used to get. Them whelps you used to get from the switches.
Yeah.
You couldn't go nowhere with no whelp now. Man, we used to have our pants be all whelped up, man. And you get teased about it. Pants be like, you got your butt whooped. Now they've been to call the police.
I feel you, man.
I remember my friends, man. It was the fences divided our yards, and in between the fences, remember those weeds that grew?
Yeah,
they get the switches and take the lead.
I hated that.
I said, why did they cut that weed? They never cut that weed down.
Man,
they cut that weed up there.
Them doggone switches, man, and you be wept up.
Or ironing cords, or other tools and supplies.
Anything.
Anything, man. Them was the days.
But you know what?
Chairs. My mother used to get, wait a minute, hey, pass. She said, hey, just hold your hand out.
Hold your hand out.
Either the ruler.
Oh, man.
My grandfather had that razor strap. You used to sharpen his straight razor with.
Yeah.
That double.
Yeah.
Man, now when she went and got that, you was getting a serious butt whooping then.
Yeah.
She was extremely mad. She, she was extremely mad when she go get that.
They didn't.
And you went to school with that, and none of the teachers
No,
said
no.
anything.
Yeah. No.
Now you go to school, it is what? Child abuse.
Yeah, please give me what makes it worse.
But
man.
I do youth programs, and I told them, I said, you know what it is, the state, and I'm not talking about, when I talk about the state, I'm talking about the United States, your state, the government. They want to take care of your child. They don't want you to take care of your child.
And that's crazy.
See, that's systemic racism. They want to take care of your child. From when you was born. You're on aid. You're getting food stamps. All right. You're on WIC. You're on Focus Hope.
Yeah.
All right. Then you come up. Then you go into school. All right. Man. They don't want you to get no type of discipline. Okay. All right. So then you mess around and get to be a teenager. Then you flunking out of school. You in these streets. Then you go to reform school. The state taking care of you. All right. And then you become an adult. Then you end up going to prison. The state taking care of you.
Dead end situation, man.
That's systemic racism. The state wants to take care of your child if they could. Yeah. If they could, and if we ever get in a situation where we had any type of internment camps or these FEMA camps that they talk about, they say that you go in, husbands go here, wives go here, kids go here.
Yeah.
The governments really like to separate your child from you, so that they can indoctrinate them.
Right, that's true. That happens.
They did that with coming from Mexico. Illegal aliens. Right. First thing they did was separated the kids from the parents. Now some of them, they can't even find the parents now. They got all these kids, and they can't even find. They don't even know where the parents is.
Some of them were shipped back home, and they probably faced firing squads, and and they were looking for asylum. I mean, looking for refugees for asylum, and that's a travesty.
And New Orleans, hurricane. First thing they did, man, they were they separated kids from the parents.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's a terrible thing. Terrible, man. But I was fortunate, growing up, and my father, my mother, they didn't play, and I think one day I got a D in citizenship.
Oh,
a D, and so that day I was trying to walk everybody home first.
Oh,
hey man, can I walk you home? I was walking everybody home, and the funny thing, it seemed like that was the shortest trip home. After walking somebody down to Martindale and Robert Fry over in Clarendon and Joseph Jones over on another street, and finally getting home, my father standing in the doorway, and he said, "You got your report card?" I said, "I think I got it."
Oh man!
He said, "You think you got it?" He said, "You had a note that Miss Red sent home. She said she pinned it to you, your shirt." I said, "What note? What note? What note?" He said, "The note Miss Red said. She said she pinned a note to your shirt. And where's that note?" That's like, that one thing was lining up to get to see the D in the citizenship. The other thing was denying the note. And I don't really remember what happened too much after that. And finally when I came to, it was in my back pocket.
Oh,
like, these people did not play.
Before you came to.
And they were master psychologists.
Yeah.
My father said one day, "You don't even know any scriptures." Before I was gone, I said, "Yes, I do. 6 in one hand and half a dozen in another. What goes around comes around."
I had to learn. My grandmother did this in the summertime. I had to learn all 66 books of the Bible in a row before I go outside, man. I'm talking about from Genesis to Revelations, man. I had to learn them all in a row. I had to sit there and name, and do you know how hard it was when I got over there to Obadiah and all them, man?
Obadiah,
Habakkuk, oh man. And then get down into Galatians, Ephesians, Colossians, Philippians. I still know them.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I said First Thessalonians, Second Thessalonians, First Timothy, Second Timothy, Third Timothy. I mean, I still know them to this day.
Amazing. I had never heard a story like that, but folks with I know situations with folks with one friend said that his parents would just every now and then line everybody up and give them whippings, and they didn't have any evidence that anybody had done something wrong, but they just figured, well, I know y'all done something wrong, so let's just
come on in.
I was like, it was a different time.
Different time, man. The one I remember don't have nothing to do with discipline, man, but you remember on Sundays, man, you had to get that you had to take that server black draw or that Fletcher's Castoria, man.
Oh, that black draw. Oh,
man, that Fletcher's Castoria. You had to take that to clean your system out.
Yeah. Oh man.
They said you ain't finna get sick. You ain't finna miss no school. And don't go in there and brush your teeth. Come back, talk, and your breath still stink. They said, "Oh, you plugged up, you locked up." All right, when the last time you used the bathroom? When the last time you had a bowel movement?
Hey, that's it.
They say, here comes the castor oil.
Yeah. Oh,
my grandmother prune juice.
Yeah, that's
prune juice.
My father would say that. Have you had a bowel movement? I said, no. He said, you half dead and don't even know it. What is this, man? Half dead and don't know it. Man, them was the days, man.
That's where I learned the word asphyxity.
Yeah.
Your breath smell like asphyxity. Asphyxity.
Oh man, you need to share some of them stories on Facebook, man. Rolling off the table.
Oh man. All right, gentlemen, I'm gonna go ahead and give me a little bite to eat
now. I'm gonna go, man. God bless you, brothers, man.
God bless you, man. We'll talk again, and Paul, I'll call you later because tomorrow I'm coming down tomorrow.
10:45. Yeah.
God bless.
God bless.
Hey, bless you, Reverend.
We'll talk soon.
All right.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.